I always use 00 flour and I make my pasta. Also, crack the eggs into a separate container in case you get some shell. If you go straight into here, they'll never get it out. So for 3 cups of flour, I'm going to start with 4 eggs. And because I get them from the guy down the street there, he doesn't sort them, so they're all different sizes. I have my flour in here, little olive oil, pinch of salt. I don't really put a ton of salt in the dough because we're going to be cooking the pasta in salted water, and salt can interfere with the flour's ability to absorb water. So just have a little pinch of salt in there. 2 quick pulses just to combine those. And then I'm going to add the eggs one by one and keep processing just till it comes together. And then I'll transfer to the counter and knead by hand. I am going one by one, but pretty much as soon as one goes in, we can come with the rest. And now, I'm just going to squeeze it and see if it comes together. I need a little more, but I don't want to add a whole egg, so I'm just going to add 1 egg yolk. And this will give it some more color too. And check it again. And if I squeeze it, it comes together really easily. That's perfect. So this dough is maybe a little bit stiff. I'm going to use it today. I'm never going to refrigerate it, so it should be fine because it'll be at room temperature. But if I was going to use it tomorrow and it was going to be cold, I might add a little more liquid, but this is going to be fine for what we're doing today. So the pasta dough has been resting for 30 minutes at room temperature, just on the countertop. And now I'm going to divide it into 200-gram balls because that is the size that my pasta maker can handle. So I have 725. So we're going to do 3. And then I'll have just a little bit left that I can freeze for the next time I make pasta. So obviously by working these, I'm developing gluten. And that's the reason that we have to rest them again. Every time I work with dough, I rest it for half an hour just to let that gluten relax. And so it doesn't retract too much as I'm working with it. So the dough has rested for another half hour, so 1 hour total. This one seems a lot more pliable. It's ready to roll and not spring back. I'm not going to add any flour yet. I only add flour when I absolutely have to. And I'm just going to roll it out into a long oval that will fit into my sheeter. So the rollers are at their widest setting. I'm going to go 2 times. And then 1 time at the second widest setting. Okay, I'm going to open it back up to the widest setting, fold this into thirds. And again, no flour yet. So now we're going to roll it 2 times at each setting until the second to last setting. For Garganelli, I like to leave it a little bit thick so it doesn't collapse, so the little rings don't collapse. still no flour, and in fact, this is going to start drying out pretty soon, so we're going to move fast because I don't want to have to add water to make it seal. So I'll use my bicycle to cut squares that are about 1.5 inches. Any scrap, save, wrap them up in plastic or keep them in a container so they don't dry out. You roll them again. And then I'm just going to roll this around a wooden spoon because the wooden spoon has natural non-stick properties, and then just seal it and pop them off. If I feel like the dough is starting to dry out, I can just use a spray bottle with some water just to moisten it again. If I feel like it's too wet, obviously it's not going to be more wet at this point, but if you do feel like it's too wet, you can use flour to dry it out a little bit. But I want to move fast because it is going to start to dry out pretty soon. If anything, when you're making these, use smaller dough balls so that you have less to work with before they dry. Or you can even just take a clean towel, lay it over like this. That'll keep moisture in. So I didn't roll this dough all the way to the thinnest setting because if I did, see how these are kind of holding their shape still, they're staying round. If you roll it too thin, they're just going to collapse on themselves. Especially on this drying rack, they're going to dry pretty quick and they should hold their shape.